Good morning. I am Monique, the Moon Mama. How are you all doing today? Today is Wednesday, and Wednesday is a day governed by Mercury. And Mercury is the most important planet in our solar system. The sun is the most important star in our solar system because it generates all of the energy in our solar system, and everything depends on it. But Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, and it generates our thinking, our minds, our perception, which then creates our reality. So, Mercury is in the final days of the retrograde experience. It is no longer retrograde, but it is completing its shadow. The first day of the shadow started on February 2nd, and the last day of the last leg of the shadow is on March 30th. And so the purpose for Mercury retrograde is for us to revisit, revise, and create revisions of experiences that we've already had. Every 88 days, Mercury goes into retrograde so that we can look back and see what else is possible. Is there something we missed? Is there something else we can learn? Is there something we didn't get? Is there something that we can create that we missed? Like any of those those are the possibilities for Mercury retrograde. This coronavirus experience was exacerbated by the Mercury retrograde in Pisces, this collective soup that we're all in. And so as Mercury is ending its retrograde, we get to ask ourselves how we can see this differently. So I'm going to share a story with you about how I do this in my own life and when I can do it. I'm not always capable of doing it, but the more I practice it, the more I can do it. So my son's father and I, we co-parent together. And we co-parent beautifully together. We have a community that supports us with our son. We support one another, and we also are just always doing our best to generate wellness and well-being in every way possible so that our family is always in the flow of life. So once, maybe it was a couple of years ago, my son's father called and said, he lost his job, and immediately I moved into terror about it. And I was like, oh shit, like he's not going to have a job. And what is that going to mean for everything? Like in my mind, I was like, oh, he's going to get evicted. Like I just went to the horrible place, which is something that humans do. I know it's something that I can do unless I'm training myself to really think. And so he shared what he was sharing, and I got the hit to ask him, well, tell me what it is you really want. Like, what kind of job do you want? What's your ideal job? So he began to tell me. He began to tell me what position he would have. He began to tell me what kind of work he would do. He began to share with me what kind of community he would serve, how he would feel, what would make him feel successful in this work. And I just held the space for him. And I asked him to tell me as much as he could, give me as much material as possible. And the reason that I was asking him for that material was so that I could fill my mind up with what he desired rather than my terrors. And so after we got off the phone, for every day after that, for about a week or two, I just saw him in my mind doing what he told me he wanted to be doing. And within a week or two, he got a new job. It wasn't the job that we had spoken about because that job was something that was just in his psyche. It wasn't like something that he had seen on a job board or anything like that. It was just something that he was creating in his own heart. And so I continued to hold because he said he got a job. He was like, I got a job and I need to feed our son and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. Go do that. But then 4 weeks later after that, someone called him out of the blue for the very job that he had spoken to me about. And so what I know is that because I was able to hold a higher frequency, one that was based in abundance and possibility and in the flow of love and joy for our family, because I was able to hold that reality, that is what came in. And all that we have to do is be able to see something in our minds, see it a new way in our minds, feel it a new way in your heart. And when you do that, what you see in your mind and feel in your heart will be magnetized through the electromagnetic field to you. And so this is the final work of Mercury retrograde as we are ending it, and we have been having this corona and virus experience. So the opportunity that is here for us is like, what do you want to see here? What would you desire to see for yourself, for your community, for your family, and for the world? And understanding that if we can focus on what we desire and not what we don't, we will get what we are focused on. What you focus on grows, and it grows because you are focused on it. So today the moon is in Aries still. It's in the last, probably the last day of Aries. It's at 19 degrees of Aries. And Aries is the energy, the sun is also in Aries. And Aries is the energy of the warrior. And what does a warrior do? A warrior fights for its cause, for its desire. And the battle is inside. The revolution is not televised. The battle is inside. So many of us right now have an opportunity to battle our ego, our small selves, for the higher vision of what is possible, what we truly desire. I hear so many of us focusing on, oh, what's possible and that's going to happen and this is so bad and this. No, know that that's happening. No, I'm not saying deny that what you see. I'm saying look beyond what you see from your inner eye, from the vision inside of you, from the imagination. That is a faculty, that is a tool, that is a way of functioning. Imagination, optimism, faith. When you use these powers, these are magic powers, these powers will bring you to the reality that you desire, but you have to be committed. You have to see the thing that's in front of you and actually give it no energy, and then allow that desire within you to usurp the experience you're seeing and materialize almost as if it were magic, but the energy will do that. So with that, I encourage you all today on this Wednesday with Mercury in the very last days of its retrograde to spend time just holding yourself in a vision of what you actually desire and not what you don't desire. While the moon is in Aries, give yourself permission to be courageous. Give yourself permission to, in your mind, like sometimes I'll say to myself, Monique, in your mind, you can be a billionaire. In your mind, you can have anything you want. So give yourself permission to see it any way you desire in your mind and hold that vision until you feel the energy of it in your heart, until you feel wellness and safety and security in your heart, and allow that energy to fill your entire body up. And when it does, just breathe into it and then move into your next activity for the day. I am the Moon Mama. Thank you for all of you who are reaching out to join my class, for those of you who are getting new moon readings and natal chart readings and composite readings with your partners and lovers, readings for your children. I am so happy to be of service. This is an incredible time to be alive. I know we're moving through a lot of things, but this is an incredible time to be alive. And I encourage you to stay focused on your gifts, your potential, your power, so that you can be who you're here to be right now, because that's what we need more than anything. You being born at this time is not a mistake. You are here to do the work of your soul. And if there's anything I can do to support you in doing that, please let me know. Peace and blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.